Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. How about this one? Oh, this was a doozy. Cavs open 6.5, closed 5.5. The Oladipo 3 right between the eyes. You knew it was coming, Teddy. Cavs up 12 with 6 minutes. 3 missed free throws in the final 20 seconds. Oladipo from 3 with less than 1 second puts it on 4. Horrible result for the books, especially here in Vegas. MGM properties, ton of sharp money on the Pacers. 70% of the bets on the Pacers at William Hill. And at MGM properties, they took a ton of money on the Cavs to win the series price. So everything comes in with that.
Oh, this was probably the single worst result that the sportsbooks could have had. I don't think probably is the answer. This was the worst result that the sportsbooks could have had. Cavs win, but not covering in victory thanks to that Oladipo 3. Look at the quote from Johnny Avello over at the Win. Quote, it was probably a swing to $5 million in the data. These 5 a week, 2-run home run to cover the run line in the bottom of the ninth, or an empty net goal in the last minute of an NHL game.
Yep.
But that's normal when it comes to the playoffs and the type of attention that these games get. Man, it's a big deal. And of course, when you talk about the volume of wagers on a Game 7 in the NBA playoffs, it's going to dwarf a 2-run home run to cover a run line or an empty net goal in the last minute of an NHL game. Ed Salmons at ESPN, we needed the Cavs. The smart money was on the Pacers. I mean, it was all Indiana money. That Oladipo 3 made it a disastrous day for the sports books, both in Las Vegas and elsewhere.
That was a strange series, to say the least. The Cavs go 1-6 against the spread. They were outscored by 40 points in the series and win in 7. They're up big at the half, and then next thing you know, the Pacers have the lead in the third quarter. The supporting cast finally played well for that game with Cleveland. Thompson played well. Can't believe Lou put him in there. But I think he had 15 and 10. Blown out in Game 6, blown out in Game 1, and now short turnaround, as it should be. You should get rewarded for taking out a team in a shorter series and doing your job. Short turnaround now for the Cavs. They take on Toronto on the road, and Toronto as high as a 240 series favorite tomorrow.
Sure, and deservedly so. When you think about the quotes from LeBron after that game, quote, I'm burnt right now. I'm not thinking about Toronto right now. I'm ready to go home. Can we? I'm tired. I want to go home. And of course, LeBron, who led the NBA, all players, in minutes during the regular season at 36.9. You know, he exceeded that by quite a margin in the first round of the playoffs. He's gassed. And let's not forget, LeBron James has played 42 playoff series in his career. The one that just concluded was the first one that no teammate of his scored 20 points in any of the games. It was all LeBron. I don't blame him for being gassed. And frankly, I think the series price is appropriate, even though if I was betting it, I'd probably look at the Cleveland side. I'm not willing to lay with Toronto.
All right, yeah. The Raptors can't beat them this year. Christ, forget about it. I think we either pushed or lost because we had to give out a tough number on Friday because it moved. But in any event, bad landing spot and a tough beat. Warriors, Pelicans open 223.5. The total closed 225. It falls 224. Golden State scores 12 points in the final 8 minutes, and there was a 20 and a 19-point quarter by both teams in the second half, respectively. The pace was insane in this game.
I mean, insane is the right word. If you read the quotes after the game, Klay Thompson talking about, man, we're exhausted. They played fast.
Yeah.
When you see that type of that type of quote, you don't expect to see it in a game that stays under the total. But as you mentioned, at the end, the pace was there. The execution wasn't, certainly for the Golden State side. Unfortunately, if you had an over ticket, you didn't cash by a single point. That's a really tough beat.
Gave out more winners than losers with our draft prop special that we did, that once they released by William Hill, the handle destroyed what happened last year, as William Hill also doubled the amount of props they offered on the draft. But one loser, although you could have locked in a great profit and it didn't matter, but one loser we gave. How about this? Quarterbacks over 5.5 rounds 1 and 2. It opened 160 the over, closed $9, but it lost. Tough beat. There were 5 quarterbacks in the first round, 0 in the second round. Rudolph didn't go till the third. The Steelers take him. I was shocked by that, but tough beat if you had over 5.5, Teddy.
Oh, I mean, and you like bad beat on the NFL draft? You bet that's a bad beat in the NFL draft.
Sure.
If you got over 5.5 QBs anywhere near at the early money, minus 160, minus $2, minus 250, whatever it was. When it closes minus $9 and 5 QBs get drafted in the first round and you can't cash that ticket, yeah, that's a bad beat. And even in NFL draft props, you could still get hosed.
Yeah, amen, brother. Bad for the books. They were betting a lot of games under getaway day. Arizona under from 8 down to 7, 3-1 final. Colorado Marlins under 8 down to 7.5, 3-0. Pirates plus 150 down to 130. They win again. That's 5 in a row. They win 3-0, or excuse me, 5-0. Braves took money. They ran out the Phillies. The Yankees have won 9 in a row. They sweep the Angels plus $1.10 went off the favorite. And that's some of the baseball news and notes there with some moves there that got there.
Sure. I mean, when you talk about Sunday's results for the books, you talked about the getaway day unders. Never in doubt. Pirates take heavy money as dogs. Never in doubt. Braves take money as a dog. Never in doubt. Yankees on fire taking money. Books not reacting perhaps quickly enough. And of course, the Yankees big dogs again tonight. We'll preview that game a little bit later when it comes to big game breakdown.
Yeah, and also NBA. This was the mother of all bad spots. This is one of the worst spots I've seen in an NBA playoff game. The Rockets went from 9.5 to 11.5. They were up 27 in the second quarter. They get the money against the Jazz. The Jazz play, what, 8:45 local tip Friday night? They win the series, tough, grueling game, win a close one, then they lose Rubio, and then they have to play Sunday afternoon, Teddy?
Yeah, knock yourselves out, guys. And of course, on game day, this line got two-way action, but the early money was all on Houston. And of course, when it came to point spread drama, it was right there in the final minute till Brewer hit the 3 for the Rockets. That was kind of the clincher point spread wise. Houston wins by 14. Not a great result for sportsbooks in Nevada and offshore.
Yep. 1 month in the books already with the baseball season. No good for the books. Players are crushing it. A lot of favorites. Also, they're betting on the good teams, and there's so many bad teams. 7 teams on pace to lose at least 97 games. So there's some awful teams. The Diamondbacks have become the first team in 111 years to win their first 9 series as they take on the Dodgers now tonight, trying to make it 10. So 9-0 so far, winning all their series. And the Cubbies, the Brewers took money yesterday. One bad bet, $1.50 down to 130. Cubs win 2-0. Brewers did not score a run, an earned run, against the Cubs starters in the whole series. The Cubs become the first team since 1910 to shut out the same team 5 times in a month.
Sure, and remember, that was a 4-game series. It wasn't a 3-game spot. It was a 4-game spot. So when your starters don't give up an earned run over a 4-game span, nice pitching, but that Brewers lineup, we talked about it earlier last week. We're like, wow, these guys are about to break out. Not so much over the weekend. Rough series for Milwaukee, and that a good result for the books. The Brewers took money yesterday, both Dodgers and Cubs. We haven't seen a whole lot of wise guy support for those two teams in early betting action so far. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.